Qatar is a country that is not being talked about, but that invests lots of money into infiltrating and steering Western institutions, university campuses, online narratives, that is paying and employing very high-ranking influencers,
really,
and all of that, purchasing shares in social media platforms and steering where they go and so on. There are different Islamic countries that also have a finger in this. I mean, oil-rich countries that have too much money and that they want to spend some of that money onto influencing how we think and how we speak in the West. The downside of having a very free society where, free capitalism runs deep, and where everyone can say whatever they want without being checked on and persecuted and all of that, is that it is also very much open to people taking advantage of this and paying lots of money to saying the most horrible things without being cracked down on. And I'm sure that there are certain state interests that take advantage of this kind of stuff. It's very, very bad. And among those are, of course, also those who want to push the narrative that Islam is a religion of peace, for example, which is what I have been dealing with. We have institutes among universities that are directly purchased, paid for, and run by Islamic countries in the Middle East, in very respectable universities across the Western world, in America, Islamic institutes and so on, that have professors who are invited by governments, including the United States government, and who want to preach ideas such as that Islam is a misunderstood, peaceful, lovely religion, and that want to crack down on people who criticize Islam. These are things that are going on, and we need to be aware of this. We need to stop fighting among ourselves, stop fighting each other, stop giving into bots and influences from different places, stop with focusing on our disagreements, and focus on the fact that there are forces in the world that are much more problematic than all of these problems that you can endlessly talk about. We have Islam. We have an ideology that is far from a religion, that pushes toward expansionism, that to this day is represented by Muslim apologists online with over 1 million subscribers, who say things like, in their ideal future, when they have the numbers, they will take over the UK and other Western countries and start imposing their Islamic laws upon them. We have YouTubers like Ali Dawa, for example, one of the most popular Muslim YouTubers. I think he has 1.2 million subscribers right now. He said in a video years ago, in response to me, that in their ideal Islamic state, when the time comes, people like me, he was speaking to me, who leave their religion and who spread corruption by telling people that Islam is wrong, that people like me will be put to death, and that Muslims like himself will be proudly watching. The video is still up. He published this years ago. YouTube didn't take it down. Police didn't do anything about it. It is still up. If you said something only like half as bad from a Christian perspective, YouTube would take it down.
Yeah, you'd be wiped off.
They would ban you. If you did this in the UK, the police would come after you and lock you up, and so on. We are allowing Islamists to spread their poison while fighting among each other about nonsensical things.
What would you like to see, or what would your advice be to people watching who would like to get into apologetics against Islam, say?
Watch David Wood. Watch certain channels like God Logic.
God Logic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is a new rising YouTuber who is doing a phenomenal job.
Okay.
God Logic. There are certain other people I know of. Testify Apologetics, a new channel that is rising, that is getting tons of views. We were doing this. There are now lots of people who are doing this as well and who are doing a fantastic job. Watch my channel.
Yeah.
Look into the history of Islam. Look into what Muslim apologists themselves actually say. Don't listen to those who make excuses for them. Look up certain YouTubers like Muhammad Hijab or Ali Dawa that are the most popular, approved of by the average Muslim. Look at how they represent their religion, how they say that once they have the numbers, they want to impose Islamic laws. recently a Muslim scholar, very much respected, also a teacher in the UK named Adnan Rashid, said that that the plan should be by Muslims to within the next 50 years have at least three Muslim prime ministers across Western nations, including the UK, Canada, and Australia.
I'm sure they'll succeed if things keep going the way they're going.
And what they would do if they have that is to, and what he's basically saying is that within 50 years they want to take over. They want to start running these Western countries. And once they start running these Western countries, they won't run them the same way these leftist idiots or even the conservative idiots run it. They want to turn things around and want to impose their own laws. They want to make it illegal to criticize Islam. They want to make it illegal to draw cartoons. They want to make it punishable to ask questions. They want to impose strict laws on men and women.
You guys have got to check out 7 Weeks Coffee. They are pro-life, mold-free, organic. The coffee is delicious. Go to 7weekscoffee.com. Click the link in the description. And also down there, you'll figure out how you can save 25% off your first order. 7weekscoffee.com. What would be a couple of excellent debates to begin with if someone wants to see a Christian do a good job responding to a Muslim? David would?
There's actually one debate that I would recommend people watching, which is between Sam Shamoun and Jay Dyer against two Muslims, who were, I believe, Daniel Hikikachu and some other little weirdo guy. But it was an Islam, it was a Christianity versus Islam debate that I would recommend checking out. It was phenomenally done.
Why was it done well?
It was mainly about doctrine, about belief, and all that, but also diverged into discussing morality. And it is a brilliant display in the intellectual gap between Christianity and Islam.
So Sam and Jay,
Sam and
showed
Jay did a
that they not only
fantastic
understood
job.
the Christian position, but they understood the Islamic position in order to refute it.
Yes,
It wasn't just bluster. It wasn't just people yelling at each other. It was
It was like they did a fantastic job in breaking down and exposing the ridiculous aspect of Islam and how Christianity is so much better in comparison. Then there are debates which discuss. I just recently had a debate about Islam with a Muslim apologist named Central Dawa. It became scandalous because in the middle of the debate he started threatening me and even did this to me, like,
what?
And said, your blood is 100% halal, he said, which means, colloquially in Islamic terms, you are 100% permitted to be killed by Muslims.
He said this to you in a filmed debate?
Yeah.
And it's online?
It's online.
And they won't take it down? I'm sure you're glad they weren't, actually.
No, I'm actually happy there. And I'm about to publish. I published a clip of it myself, and I'm about to publish the debate of it as well on my
that
channel.
doesn't make you look more convincing when you have to resort to threats because your logic isn't working.
The funny thing is, the way it unfolded was he was being very disrespectful and weird, and he also was kind of shocked because he was expecting to go into the debate with like Muslim versus atheist. At that point, I'm kind of in a phase of changing, and I'm wearing a cross. And just because he started attacking my atheist aspect and like trying to be a Christian and all of that, and he was like coming off as a complete jerk in his opening statement, and he wasn't looking at me, so I thought, you want to play it that way? So I like in the middle of it, I just did this. So once he comes back with his opening statement, he suddenly sees me wearing a cross. And he's completely dumbfounded. And he starts attacking me personally and attacking Christians and others and so on. And at some point, somebody brings up the question of executing apostates. And he says then, yeah, you deserve to be 100%, you deserve the apostasy penalty. Like, okay, fantastic, good. So since he disrespected me from beginning to end and also now said that I deserve to be killed, I basically took out a ripped out page of the Quran in the shape of an L and put it on my microphone. And he got really, really upset about that and started threatening me and making death threats and saying your blood is halal and so on.
Wow.
Blamed it on that. And then eventually he said if I don't take it down, then he will leave the debate. And the moderator is like, do you want to take it down? I'm like, no. So he just left the debate.
Okay. And when was this?
Um,
This recent? I got to watch this.
yeah, this was I think in February.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how many debates have you engaged in?
Quite a few.
Really?
Quite a few.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't know that. As I say, I'm new to you and your channel. So
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out.
You should have a look at that. It's I mean, I'm happy that stuff like this is making the rounds and is getting more attention, because people need to see this. People need to see what we actually deal with. When I sit down, when people like me and others sit down and talk about the threat of Islam and how bad Islam is, lots of people who might not be familiar with this might just perceive this as, I don't know, like fear-mongering, bigotry, Islamophobia, and things like that.
Yeah.
You need to see the truth of it. I'm not saying that Muslims are evil people, that all Muslims are evil people. Muslims are the first victims of Islam. I was a victim of Islam myself. It is Islam, and I don't encourage to treat Muslims badly. I encourage to help make Muslims realize that Islam is nonsense and it's false, and they should leave it and probably become Christians. Would be much better for the world.
Thanks very much for watching that clip. You can click the link below if you want to watch the full interview, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.